starting off first on Nuke. Moses, let's delve a little bit more into your thoughts now on this opening match as we prepare to start things off.
I mean, listen, this matchup right now as a semifinal, it's incredible because this is basically a grand final. This is going to be a sick matchup. These are two of the best performing teams we have. I mean, SK had a shaky start to the event, and it looked even on the first day like things could get a little bit scary in the group stages for them. But they turned up in a big way, especially once we got into the arena in front of this crowd. The interesting thing in terms of the crowd as well is yesterday they were all in favor of NiP, but today it's going to be the complete opposite. It's going to be a 180.
Yeah, we've already seen that too with the walkouts there, just how passionate these fans are. Yeah,
they got booed, and this crowd loves Get Right and Forest. Like, Brazilians just have this fascination. They love those two guys, and still getting booed. So just the excitement to see SK up on stage in the hometown, obviously, or in the home country. But yeah, this is going to be difficult. The people I'm looking to really step up for NiP, I think Exist has had a really good tournament in terms of his impact, in terms of some of the big rounds that he's had, getting crucial kills. Obviously, you have to expect Get Right and Forest to be able to bring it, but someone like Exist, someone like Freiburg, they can have massive impact as well.
All right, guys. Well, the pistol round has begun now, and NiP are going to be starting off on the T side. But look at this aggression already coming out from SK. coldzera already finding himself a kill too, knocking a Get Right. I believe that's the bomb. Taco maybe dipping himself in there for a kill too, but there was the trade from Makalele to take down FNX. Things are not all bright and dandy for SK, and Freiburg's going to be able to find another one against Taco. coldzera looking to trade, but NiP have backed up here. Fur, though, has sprung the trap, and there's the bomb. Down again. He's got full control, but trade still continue to roll in. Forest, he's found another kill. They've got the 3-on-2 advantage, but Fur, there you go, pushing in, finds Freiburg. They've got control of this T courtyard area now, and there's going to be tough for the NiP players to bring this back, as they're both split up across the map and at low HP.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really difficult here for NiP to find ways to get a good advantaged fight. They've been taking a couple one-on-ones first, taking advantage of that in a big way. Forest is going to be coming up from ramp. Could meet up against coldzera. The interesting thing, neither team's buying any utility in this. It's just been an all-out brawl. It's just armor all over the place. USP's winning out for the moment. You can see a little bit of aggression from Forest. The question is, what is the move that Exist is going to make? Because he is just walking into this upper bomb site, making sure to clear out all these corners. It's going to come down to a lot of timing. There's so many different locations he's got to worry about. And NiP, I mean, this is the tactic. They want to slowly pinch. They're working together from different angles, and they want to make this happen. How is SK going to respond? And Exist isn't ready for that kind of a play from Fur. And this is a little bit of a duel, but Forest is brought down so low. It's got to be Exist with 25 seconds, and he can't get that kill. It's all on Forest, and it's just not going to happen. He'd have to hit some stunning shots, but SK's playing this so well, and the pistol round goes their way.
Huge round from Fur, specifically 3 kills, all being controlled just outside of that little shed there. Really good aggression from him, great movement and controlling just the pace from NiP there. Allows them to hold full control almost that entire time and net them the pistol round here to start off the CT side for SK Gaming.
Yeah, and reinvestment into this round as well from NiP, so they want to respond right back. Tech9's coming out, CZ on Exist. Again, I mean, they have 3 smokes this time at least. 1 flashbang onto Forest. They just use one of those smokes. That's going to be, I believe, towards outside. So all the smokes are deployed now. And Exist is going to be wrapping around the smoke outside, trying to find something. But the rest of his teammates are actually inside. So they're just allowing the smokes to put Exist in a position to lurk. And this is going to be the duel that he has to win. Against coldzera, this is the fight they want. And he looks away, goes to check a corner. The timing is with Cold. That spurs the rest of NiP forward, and they can get absolutely nothing. They're getting mowed down. SK don't lose a single player.
With that, SK hold control of things there. Only faltering a little bit on that second round, only losing, I believe, one of their players. Actually, no, they don't lose anyone in that one. So NiP just don't find any momentum whatsoever. And now they have to go onto their trash round. Very low investments. Just the Glocks being picked up here now, I imagine. No P250s or anything else. They're saving for that first gun round. And they don't have a plant to their name yet, and I don't imagine they're going to have an easy time of getting one here without even a smoke.
Well, I mean, this is what Yanko was talking about, how difficult SK can be to break their defense when they have their economy rolling, and the tough part is that investment from NiP, the Tech9s, the upgraded pistols and armor in that second round, they do no damage. So SK sitting in a very good spot, some bonus money building up with all these SMGs, and they're going to start out with a strong economy right from the get-go. So NiP already at a huge disadvantage back against the wall. Obviously, we're going to have to see how these gun rounds start to play out in the beginning, but certainly not losing a single player in the last 2 rounds. SK is going to be sitting very, very pretty, and they don't even have to upgrade if they don't want to. They can use these UMPs, and again, if they're able to win a round and upgrade for free to AK-47s, that's just more in the favor of SK, and NiP will already be at a huge disadvantage.
And it's going to leave outside control mainly to Fallen and Fur, however, to work with that, though, as NiP will have the range advantage when they do try to go for that. They need control of this one. So crucial to get it now on the newer version of this map, and we will see NiP shifting quite a few of their players already towards that at the beginning of this round. Forest working his way to toss the smoke inside. T-smokes as well, giving them room out onto the courtyard. Fallen preparing for the push back through Big Red, and he may just get it, but smokes are going to cover him off. The usual setup here, but the response Molotov is perfect. Exist is going to have to wait. About 10 seconds here before he can push through into Secret, and in this time, coldzera has taken up position to counter out this push should it come through.
Yeah, and I mean, he only has a UMP, so he doesn't need to peek up here. You can't, I mean, that's a disadvantage. It's a range battle, especially that headshot against the AK-47s. You don't want to take that fight, so just more smoke out to slow them down. Another Molotov trying to use these UMPs at closer range, and NiP has at least successfully navigated to gain control of outside without being punished by Fallen Zop just yet. And he's being aggressive with it. He's got to be a little bit careful. There's the timing, but he recovers nicely. 6 shot onto Freiberg, who falls, and now he just retreats back. Forrest is going to be the next one along the rafters outside.
This catwalk that throws so many of the CTs off with just how easy it is for the T's to creep up unnoticed. There's Fallen, however, chiming in with the second kill now. Finding Get Right, but Forrest strikes. Jumps back in over there through Heaven. Taking down Fur, trying to bring this back a bit. With Makalele finding that kill, it was looking good, but then Fallen and FNX, those trades should shut it down. Unless Forrest is a miracle play here. Moves in, grabs the kill on Fallen. They know where he's at. He's trying to play this to the best angle he can, but Taco is going to peek out with that low HP. It's easy closeouts with the SMG.
Yeah, and they upgrade those 2 UMPs they had left to an AK and an AWP. So there's that nightmare scenario for NiP where they get some extra money just by free upgrades to rifles. Fallen outside though, I mean that's the big thing. NiP has to use so much utility just to force him away, just to not take damage from him initially, and he's still able to find a couple kills. So that's the tough part, because once you've used utility and you do a good job, you've run out of so much to do anything in the late round.
Now we're going to see what NiP can do, of course, with a lessened arsenal as they do push for outside control once again. coldzera is going to be waiting, actually, in the little cubby over here to try and see if he can catch players. coldzera, too, sits back and waits, but as NiP slowly start to creep back around, they're going to make the secret push. Fallen, however, grabbing one of them out from the push, and they know exactly where they're going, so this is an easy strat to read. The Molotov comes in from coldzera as he dips back on the vents, and he's even going to play it forward there. Moves in, and look at this, he's even knowing Get Right's moving back in through the vents, finds that kill, and waits for more. A third kill for him on this round specifically. Down at 2 HP, so he's got to back up a little bit, but as Freiberg pushes in, a new player takes the mantle. FNX will finish off the round.
Yeah, this is scary. This defense is going to start rolling, and they're going to get hyped up by this crowd as well to carry that momentum forward. The tough part is, it's one thing if Fallen's playing great, but if you have Fallen and coldzera having this kind of an impact, I mean, this is just against pistols. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit easier, but still, if these players are going to be alive in this matchup and having this kind of performance on defense, NiP in a lot of trouble.
Certainly so on this map choice here now. For NiP, they are going to go directly towards inside, and all of a sudden kicking up the pace to a big degree, moving in, and they don't even see them coming out of the main doorway there. Fur, nice drop down kill, and he's even going to move in through that doorway to find a second frag. Fur finally meets his end against Makalele, but Taco comes in with another trade. NiP in the sight, but certainly not under control of it. As SKR is sitting just on the cusp, ready for a retake. They don't even feel fine when going for the plant right now. But Forrest, he's going to creep out. coldzera is waiting for him, however. That's going to shut him down, and Exist now is alone in the site. He's got bomb control. He can go for the plant. Plenty of time still here to work with a minute and 15 left on the clock, but his first battle is going to come against Taco. Nicely done from Exist. Catches the headshot onto Taco. Still a lot more work to do, however, as SK do start to wrap around and prepare to counter out Exist. Here we go, he jumps in, and oh no! He catches Fallen while he's moving away and out of position, so all of a sudden, Exist has this lined up. It's down to a 1v1, and coldzera is completely out of position.
This would be huge. We've seen Exist clutch so many rounds for NiP, a 1-on-3 yesterday. Can he do it again? He's played this so smart, and he's actually got coldzera completely out of position. He's very far away from the bomb sites, and he's kind of got to guess that it's going to be up top. Yeah, he has to check it. He has to be honest with it, and this is going to be the tough part. Now when he sees that it's empty, it's that sinking feeling in your stomach. He's running out of time to get there, and he will not have, a whole lot of options in terms of what he can check, but luckily for him, Exist is out in the open right now. He'll be able to spot this, but is he going to get caught off guard? Exist does the damage, but he's out in the open, and that's it. Cold wins it. He comes over, and Exist, he gets countered by his positioning, and it's going to be a 6th round for SK, a nice one-on-one from Cold.
Exist, though, almost an impressive clutch. A stroke of luck against Fallen's 1v1 there, but to move into the site and grab that first kill there, they knew exactly where he was to start it off, but obviously things were thrown off a little bit there. coldzera, however, catches him out in the open, as you mentioned, and that allows him to close out the final 1v1.
It's yeah, and here we're going to get a pause here from NiP, who know they have to get down the board quickly. They have to slow this down. It's tough to be critical of Exist in this situation, in that one-on-one, but, definitely when you have that, we've seen it a couple times, you want to use that bomb as a second teammate, so you want to be in some kind of a position where you can delay, where you can get information without being committed and Exist in that corner. Obviously not assuming that Cold is going to be coming down ramp. He's assuming he's coming out vent where he'd have an advantage or one of the doors. But caught out in the open like that, there's just nowhere to go from Exist. So it's all things considered. You can see coldzera's movement. He commits Exist to the fight, gets his recoil out of control, and then comes back to finish it off. So that's really well done.
Well, the pause should be resumed here in just a moment. Let's keep in mind the pauses are much shorter now since the change in it, but it'll get started here, and we will see if SK can keep their streak going. Money really starting to build up on quite a few players, but it's also low for some of the other more frontline players that have been taking the brunt of the action. Fallen specifically having to buy up a little bit more often here, still down to $100, but the rest pretty much good to go for their own full rebuys here. And I imagine with the extra cash that Taco has to work with here, it should not be too much trouble to toss Fallen a gun. So they're good for at least one more rebuy, even when NiP finally are able to pick up a round. But these gun rounds have been a little bit close. NiP at the very least are able to find themselves a push onto the site, and with that, they are able to go for another buy into this round. As we see them though, outside control is the name of the game here on this map, and Fallen not even going to take a chance of directly contesting it, much like in many of the rounds in the past, so fall back outside of Hell there and wait to see if they wrap out to find him.
NiP's had this outside control a number of times. It's just been Fallen or coldzera. So one of them is making the plays to shut them down. You can see Fallen's out here right now with Eater. He can't see much behind that smoke, so Force and Exist are going to be able to get towards Underpass, where coldzera has stopped them before. This is going to attempt to be a split onto that inner bomb site. Here comes the hit onto Ramp Room, and Freiburg takes out Taco. That's a big kill. Taco not able to fall back in time, not able to turtle up in that lower bomb site, so it's all on Cold. He's going to get pinched from two different angles. He's got to be very, very careful.
coldzera now waiting for the push to come back in. He's going to get his chance at it. Nobody's checked that window room. He's got full eyes on to Freiburg sitting over there, and he's going to give the intel out. FNX finding the kill. NiP now trying to move in back over through Secret too, but that's not going to work too successfully there as they try to defend that one. However, as FNX moves in, he is going to put an end to it, and Fur back in the vents grabs the final kill. It's another round. NiP, they don't even get close to finding a plant that time, and SK sit up 7-0 right now.
This is an SK Gaming defense that is on point. These rotations are so impressive. The communication they have to be able to get into that bomb site. Even when Taco gets dropped, the rotations come in so fast. They know exactly what's coming, and all the players are in position to fill the gaps in that defense. NiP is stumped right now. They can do nothing. Not even really getting a whole lot of kills. Exist and Freiburg stuck on 2. Get Right with 0. It's not what you want to see starting out in this semifinal series.
Now NiP again going for the outside control, and to a certain degree the initial area here is being given to them. It's the wraparound towards Hell that they're going to have problems taking control of, as well as getting themselves into the garage here where coldzera is waiting, and there's one for him. He does go down, but the trade situation coming in, and oh no, FNX, he doesn't find anything at all, and Forrest pushing in through the mini shed. He's able to pick up another kill. There's still a player alive in Heaven 2 now, as Fur and Taco have both grouped up here, but these are the last two alive, and they know exactly where they've been playing from here. Guys from SK are not going to have a really big element of surprise, and even as they move in blind by a flashbang, Freiburg is going to be able to take down Taco. Just Fur in the 1v3, and he is absolutely destroyed down the hole as well into Hell. That's going to be Freiburg picking up the last kill, and finally NiP have a round on the board. Yeah, that's nicely done. A good coordination from NiP on that. The success coming in from Mini. Actually, the two players that were playing up in Heaven from SK, Fallen, and I believe that was Taco. No, it wasn't Taco. Fallen, I think, Fur, excuse me, both peeking over towards the mini room, the entrance to that upper bomb site, and then the players come out of the hut and just are able to assassinate him from the side. So really nice coordination from NiP on that timing to split into the upper bomb site. They need more like that. Those fast tactics, they seem to have gotten them some early advantages, and if they can continue to have those, they'll put themselves in good situations for the late round. Now NiP again, slowly moving up to take control, but they're not even really accounting for coldzera. He is going to be able to grab that kill on a Freiburg. Thankfully, it's a quick trade, but still, the damage is done, and he spotted all those players pushing in, so we should be able to see appropriate adjustments from SK. However, they're still thinking that this is going to be an A. Quite a lot of heavy presence in there. Only a few wrapping down right now to pay attention to that B bomb site and Get Right. Again, trying to counter out anybody that would move into outside there and go for flanks in a secret, but it's not the case. No one's here, and NiP are just slowly creeping up to the double doors right now to slowly take control of the B site. Where does NiP decide to go? This is a much slower round, but I mean, you could see there's so much information being gained. Fallen is pushed up in Ramp Room, so he knows exactly what's coming. There's a kill from Taco, even Fur's waiting, and there's the peek from Get Right, who can't win that battle. So again, SK, big advantage, 3-on-2, but Mike Laley's at 3 HP. He's so incredibly low, so how are they going to get into this bomb site? How are they going to get this planted? Because Mike Laley can do nothing. Forrest has got to be the hero here. Peering over the top of that smoke. I think he spotted Fur, and Mike Laley, I mean, he wants to commit to that fight, but he can't. It's just such a sketchy situation, and they're about to get boxed in. Although Michael Laley, that's a huge kill. Fur peeks in the vent. That's nicely done, so now there's an opportunity for NiP. Not Makalele challenged again, however, and this time it's coming in from ramp. There's not a lot of great angles that he can play with. The Molotov's going to send him into the open. He gets a good lineup. That's great damage, and now Forrest, he's going to capitalize on that. Fallen didn't even notice that he pushed up. It's down to a 1v1, but look at the timer. Only 8 seconds left. Forrest has to try and press the issue or get the play going, but he's exposed right now. FNX can push, but he's not doing it. He's going to let him get the plan. Now all he's got to do is find the correct position. Hasn't checked the vents. This could get dangerous, but he does escape into the double door hallway now. And as he backs away, this will let FNX get into the site. He's slowly creeping up on the catwalk. The only question, are these windows broken? Thankfully they are. He can jump in without being noticed, but look at Forrest. He's waiting for that perfectly, and NiP are going to shut down this round.
Yeah, surprised to see FNX not even pressure that bomb plant whatsoever. You could see Force had to just risk it, and he had to gamble. He just took he just took a guess, and it was actually the wrong guess, but like I said, FNX doesn't actually press the issue, but he plants in the cover of that silo for the door on the ground on the other side of it. He doesn't plant safe from the vents. It's just FNX takes that one peek, maybe just fires a couple bullets, maybe makes some footsteps and forces Force to get off the plant, and then it's just an easy win by timer from there, but either way, finally, the money of SK is running low. 3 UMPs again, and it's fast-paced towards the upper bomb. So they got the opening kills last time. There's Fur with one. Fallen response with the scout. This has been slowed down, but Exist is here now with the impact. So is Makalele. 3 on 2. Cold and Taco are going to have another retake on their hands.
Taco with good timing on his flank that was moving in there, but unfortunately poor execution. Cold Zera even being hit by a teammate, but crawling in through the window somehow gets the kill against Makalele, and that nade goes perfectly on a Get Right's position, but Get Right counter-reacts to it, moves out into the open, finds the position from Cold Zera. Now it's Taco, who's still boxed outside of this site. Behind a smoke currently. He moves in, the Molotov is going to go into position 2, but he wraps around it. Get Right's heard it, but no, we can't shut it down. We're into a 1 versus 1 scenario, and Exist is at 24 HP. But Taco's not checking over there towards the mini now. And as Taco moves up, he's going to jump onto the bomb. He's got the 5-second defuse, but does he realize Exist is creeping in? And no, he doesn't see it. So Exist will get the final kill, and it'll be a 3rd for NiP.
All these rounds are so close to going in SK's favor, and finally they're broken. Everyone's sitting at right around 3K, and I don't think they're going to be buying here, but NiP wins 2 1-on-1s in a row. These are scrappy rounds, and they're finally starting to fight back. Get Right, I mean, this is his first kill on the board now. 1-9 for him in the match. I mean, you're not going to keep a player like him out for the whole map, but it's good to see NiP getting 3 in a row, stringing them together, and now a chance to make this a very, very effective T-side is with the save. I mean, they can get up towards 4, and SK will have a very good buy in the next round.
Again, going for outside control here, as has been the custom now. And Get Right actually spotting Fallen just outside of the shed there in the first couple seconds as he does move in to kind of probe it, but nothing being found. And oh, it seems like we have a call to stop. So I imagine this round's going to be reset.
Yes, yes, apparently, yeah, just a small technical issue that's going to start the round over. So we'll start with the same score, obviously. Everything will be all right once we get the old match medic going. But yeah, this is a very nice comeback from NiP, and it's been off these fast tactics. I mean, we've seen them outside. They had that fast split through mini that got them their first round, the pinch onto the upper bomb site. We've seen them maybe even before this past upper rush, which they ended up winning. They lost one earlier, but they got the opening kills. They got into the bomb site. They had success on the entries, and on a map like Nuke, I mean, that's where the real difficulty comes in. If you can have success with entries, you're just hoping to have a couple rounds where you put yourself into a good late game situation to be able to win that. So those fast tactics for NiP are working out at the moment.
One thing that does worry me, however, is the fact that NiP have have had their takes actually work out for them in a very straightforward fashion, especially towards the outside there. I've been expecting SK to put up a little bit more of a fight, specifically with Fallen in the garage there, but for the most part, he's actually been backing up when he knows there's a large amount of pressure. He's been going back over there towards Hell, or even just hiding outside of Heaven there, waiting for them to eventually push back in and then trying to challenge it from there. That's been giving NiP really good control of the secret push leading up to the B-bomb. So the problem is, though, is that they're leaving players behind and they're kind of overextending their reach. They lose a lot of players that they don't necessarily need to have sitting back, instead of with the main group in the bomb site.
I mean, SK is not going to mind with the way things are going, giving up that outside control to NiP, because they've basically had success containing them. They're saying, all right, you can have it, but where are you going to go? Because their reads have been so good. Every time they go downstairs, Cold stopped them a couple times. There's been sick crossfire set up in vents on the stairs there. So, you know, take outside control, but still, where are you going to go? Everywhere is still a narrow choke point advantage for the CTs. And even Fallen's been able to have some success in a couple rounds with that. So another outside take. It is an anti-eco from NiP. They've been good on these historically, but we saw against Cloud9 on Dust 2, they were atrocious. They lost 3, so they've got to be having some nightmares and just kind of holding their breath right now to see how this one goes for them.
And Get Right again being cautious of the push inside of the T lobby there, making sure that nobody goes to the doorway as he watches from the top of the steps there on the roof. Will not be the case. NiP have control and they have their potential to push it in. Oh, Makalele, he spotted for his hand there. Obviously not going to take a shot with that thin of an angle. He's hoping he can get him peeking back out. The flashbangs move in, and well, they'll start the hit, but Exists, he's been lit on the early push. Fars, though, finding the kill, and there we go. Get Right knew where Fur was, thanks to the intel that was given to him by his teammate. And Taco runs into one of the members of NiP. Nothing to be found for him at all here, and both the remaining members of SK boxed out of the site, so this is looking good for NiP to find a fourth.
Yeah, there's no danger here. Fallen and Cold, they're not even probably going to go for this. Their entire goal is to try and find an AK-47 and bring into the next round, but even that might not happen. I wouldn't mind if NiP actually just sent Michael and Get Right on a hunting mission with the SMG, see if they can get some extra money. But Force is going to get that. Now it's Fallen's turn to make his appearance in the hut window, and Exist is looking the wrong way, but he's able to win it anyways as he spins. So it is a fourth. NiP clawing themselves back into this game. It looks so scary. 7-0 at one point. It's been 4 straight for the Ninjas. And here comes the next buy for SK, trying to get back on the board, trying to regain control, get this crowd back in their favor.
Well, we will see here now as SK back onto the buy. Fallen, unfortunately, not able to get really any utility behind his up because of the lessened money that they're working with here. And only one kit, too, sitting on Fur currently. The rest, however, they've got the utility buy, so it's not as drastic of a situation as it may appear at first glance here. And now NiP again. It's not actually going away from outside control. They've been fans of it, of course, for pretty much all of these rounds prior to this one, but now for the first time in quite a while, I think since the pistol round, really, they're just going to work this entirely into the lobby way, and then either head out towards ramp, which is another area that we really haven't seen them push towards at all, or obviously work their way in through shed.
Well, Exist and Get Right are putting some pressure on the inner bomb site, using flashbangs to try and get that SMG in. And now Freiburg even applying pressure, not committing too much to this ramp room. And they actually force Taco back. So they have control, but this is one of the strengths of Nuke for the defensive side of things. It is very easy to just lose control and turtle up behind it. You just have to have the good reads, which SK has had for the most part this half. And now here comes the hit into this inner bomb site. Molotovs are out to protect NiP as they enter the site. Behind the silo, Smoke's out now to plant the bomb. But no kills being exchanged quite yet. SK not being too dedicated to this, and they're all blocked off by Smokes. This is really nice from NiP, and there's Forrest with the opening kill. That's Fur falling. That's a distraction outside, and even Cold gets dropped. Michael surprises him by opening up the door. This is a huge advantage. I don't think SK can retake this. They don't have any kits, and they have an AWP, which is not going to be very strong in this situation.
Taco's got control room under his control, but there's really no way from the net any kills currently. NiP's post-plant scenarios do not align with this at all. Fallen, he's already falling back up the ladder, and Taco's starting to move away too. He will get himself a victory against Makalele, but it's really only going to allow him to escape with the gun. They are most definitely saving this now, and it will be the 5th from NiP. That's dangerous. You mentioned before they are allowed to sort of give up that control at the back, but this has become a systematic pattern now where SK are just allowing NiP to get control of areas of the map, and they don't really seem to ever respond to that.
That was a very nice execute under that lower bomb site, because the key to it was they didn't really use a whole lot of utility to apply pressure. I mean, even in ramp room, I think they only used really like a flashbang and a Molotov, and they forced Taco back early. Once they got control of ramp room, I mean, just smokes everywhere, smoke in every door, Molotov behind the silo. All they really had to worry about was window, and with so many members of NiP streaming out, I think it was Taco who was there, just didn't want to peek, didn't want to give up that position, was trying to wait for his teammates to come back, but all the aggression, all the advantages were given up to NiP. So Forrest with a good entry, a lurk on those rafters outside, and Michael obviously with just a MAC-10 taking out Cold. That pretty much stabilized the round for him.
And so now we go into SK's first tactical timeout here, as obviously things are not going as swimmingly anymore. NiP sitting on their heels with the possibility to tie this up in just 2 more rounds. They do have another gun round in front of them, of course, but that doesn't necessarily mean much if they cannot actually hold control of some of these initial areas that NiP have been having such an easy time getting control of.
Yeah, this is where I would expect, actually. This is where you think SK, they've got to just start switching things up, because NiP's obviously found, you know, a working solution to this T side. They've figured things out. They've got 5 in a row. This is where you'd expect SK to be a little bit more aggressive, but actually, I mean, we have like a counter tactical pause. So tactical pause called by SK. They unpause it. They're ready to go. They figured things out, and NiP says, nah, we're going to pause it now.
This is where I feel like some of the nature of the new pausing rules could end up kind of getting into the heads of some of these players, because as you mentioned, SK, they're ready to go after that one. They unpause that really quickly, then all of a sudden NiP just puts a complete stop to that momentum build-up. And like, nope, now we're going to take a couple seconds.
I mean, if I'm NiP, and I mean, knowing Swedish players and like the mental state, how calm they are at all times, I'm sure this is a pause where they just were just like, let's just call it and see if we can mind game SK. Let's not actually change anything. Let's just mess with them a little bit. So 5 in a row for NiP. They're going to try and continue forward, but we'll see if either of these teams have changed anything tactically as we are live into the 13th round. Get Right's going to go inside. Typical lurk, and here's Fur and Cold Zera outside. So the switch up is Fallen with an AWP over towards ramp room. They put more rifles towards outside and upper, so that will allow a little bit more aggression if they choose to be. Fallen's just got to hold down the fort and maybe catch NiP off guard.
They're not necessarily providing an active defense, though. Again, they're still pulling back over there towards Hell and waiting for NiP to wrap around, which gives them basically free control of secret stairs. They want to move in there. coldzera even looking to see if one of these players pushed in, but it's not the case. NiP really haven't been, that tactical with the outside push. They've just been smoking it off and pushing the secret on almost every single round.
Yeah, but look at Fallen. He's pushed up all the way to radio room, so he's getting so much information. No one from his team has even dropped down to lower. They're all in this upper bomb site. Fallen will have a quick flank if there is any kind of execute, and he's just going to keep pushing forward because he knows there's probably just someone watching an angle here. Could be an easy kill for him, and when does he decide to go forward? This is going to be a little bit dicey for Michael, who now just abandons it. So Fallen still not making that move, and no one from either team really putting aggression on the map.
Now we see NiP slowly starting to work their way in, however, as the time ticks down a little bit. They've not gone for that outside control, but there is the potential for flanks to lurk back in. coldzera gets shot first, but Taco up on top. Him and Fallen are going to find the first 2 kills. Fallen over-aggresses, though. He gets knocked out, but FNX is handling things. He picks up another frag against Freiburg, and it's just going to be Exist. He lurked around over towards Hell. We've seen him almost pull off this 1v3 just about 4 or 5 rounds ago here, but as he moves up, he's already been spotted, and Taco is going to shut down this round. 8-5. SK keep their lead going for now.
Yeah, they keep the AWP as well. Nice play from Fallen, just pushing up confidently, just holding the angle, not getting over-aggressive. So much information for his team, and then obviously the surprise quick flank comes in to really stop that attack from NiP, because again, Force is doing a phenomenal job for NiP. He's 13-9. He's been getting so many opening kills. He's been getting so many critical kills just as they're starting to take bomb sites. He's been a great asset to this T side so far for the Ninjas, but just Fallen makes the better play in terms of the team-wide goals there that round.
Fallen being brought down very low there, but he does manage to get himself the kill. That's that aggression moving in there. Down to 14 HP, but he knocks out Get Right. And again, NiP, this is getting somewhat predictable, which is why it may not be working so well anymore here. The smoke off lead up into secret, and they even know Forrest is going to push Catwalk. coldzera almost caught swapping guns there, but he lines up the headshot, knocks down Forrest, and this immediately, within just about 20 seconds into the round, goes into a 5-on-3.
That AWP switch up in ramp did surprise Get Right this round. It seemed like he had a little bit of a counter to it. Through the Molotov, takes the fight, but can't win it, and then Fallen just wisely just doesn't walk backwards into the flames. No one there to trade it for NiP, and yeah, with the 2-man disadvantage, this is going to be so difficult. First being held off at the moment, but you're going to see all of SK start to constrict onto this lower bomb site. Fur completely blind inside vents, going to back away safely. The bomb does go down, but Fur has now gained control of vents, so the avenue is open now for his team to start streaming in for the retake. They've just got to worry about Michael. That's going to be the first battle, although Exist does find Cold on the other side.
Exist looking for more here too, and Makalele still having full focus on that duel in the vents there with Fur. That's been going on for at least 20 seconds now. Freiburg though lining up the kill, and Exist just got another one. All of a sudden NiP have the advantage, but Fur finally wins that duel. That doesn't necessarily mean they're back in the action though, because Fur took a lot of damage, and Exist, he knows exactly where Taco's at, so he's going to peek out control, shuts down Taco. Fur's moving in, he's going to try to sneak the retake there, and he can't even take down Exist. Another big round from Exist. He gets a 4K off of that one. Absolutely dominating from control as soon as they get into that B bomb site, and that's a 5-on-3 comeback for NiP to pick up a 6th round.
Yeah, I mean, if NiP wins this last round, you can pretty much chalk Exist up to winning them too, because if they had lost that round, they would have been broken economically. They would have had very, very little to buy. And on the other hand, SK, look at what they're bringing into this round. 2 upgraded pistols. They only have 1 M4, a Scout on the Fallen, and the UMP and Cold, and a lot of light utility. So what is the game plan here for the SK side? What can they actually do? It's going to be Fallen with the Scout. And there's a shot, and actually it tags him, and there's coldzera with the kill onto Freiburg. Even Exist is brought down low, so huge disadvantage for NiP early on, and with it, I mean, Fallen feels the pressure, and he just backs off. Get Right evens things out, but so much damage has been done to NiP.
And already, again, NiP getting control of the ramp from here. They have a free push that works its way down, but actually Makalele is just going to get aggressive here, pushing into Hell. I think he knows that a player's sitting up there. The flashbang goes in, it works, but obviously the follow-up's going to be a little bit difficult to do. Exist moving in there, looks for the kill. He's kind of stuck on the ladder. They're a little bit hesitant to move in onto that.
That was a missed opportunity. Taco completely blind, and there's Fur coming in from behind. And NiP, they don't know where to go quite yet. They got stopped underneath that ladder. Good lurk from Get Right, though. That might be the kill that opens things up. He knows one more is above. That's Taco, but still NiP not dedicating themselves anywhere.
Makalele still sitting outside to make sure nobody flanks him from over in Hell. It will actually happen though, but there you go. He's got that lined up perfectly. Was waiting for that opportunity to find a kill. 3-on-1. Things are now under their control quite heavy-handedly, and Fallen stuck in the smoke there. Get Right's going to push out, and that's going to be the end of it. Get Right finds the final kill of the half there, and they managed to round an impressive comeback here, now going 8-7 at halftime.
Yeah, they went on a 7-1 run there at the end of this in this first half, and Exist, I mean, in that round 14, it gets those 4 kills, turns out to win them 2 rounds. So huge impact from Exist.
All right. right, guys. Well, the second half is coming up in just a little bit here. Be sure to stick around and we'll have more action here at the ESL Pro League Season 4 Finals, live from Brazil. SK looked strong at the start of the first half here on their CT side, but things didn't continue that way, unfortunately, for the home crowd here. NiP rounded an impressive comeback, and now they sit within one round of tying things up as they jump onto the CT side here. It's on Nuke, and it is the first map in the first semifinal here at the ESL Pro League Season 4 Finals. We're about to jump into the second half now and see which team will claim victory and have the edge as this best-of-3 set moves forward later into the day.
Yeah, but, I mean, brilliant adjustments by NiP. In that first half to figure out something that was working. Those fast tactics really got them on the board, and then they were able to slow things down, find a little bit more success. Once they kind of depleted the economy of SK, they could slow things back down. But I mean, that is kind of the case if you're spending the majority of the round, being slow paced. When you actually do execute, and the CT side has all the Molotovs and nades, it becomes so difficult. They have so many different ways of slowing you down wherever you want to go. So. Almost a nightmare situation, but NiP does a good job to get back on the board. Like I said, a 7-1 run to close that half out. That's massive on the T side. So they put themselves in contention for this match when it looked at one point like it was just going to be a wipe.
Well, let's get into it now. NiP starting off with the CT side. SK with their chance to keep the lead, of course, if they can win this pistol. Giving them a few more rounds to boost up their scoreline a little bit here. And on the early seconds of it, FNX already creeping up to the main doorway, leading into the A-bomb site. Being cautious, of course, in the event NiP try to play it out aggressively, but it doesn't seem as though that is going to be the case. They're all holding back and playing things fairly standard as far as the CT side is concerned for this map.
At least on this pistol round, we have some utility bot. We didn't have it in the first one. It was 10 armor, so Fallen's got a smoke, 2 flashes. Cold has a smoke. Forrest had some nades. He has an HE and a kit at the moment, so just waiting to see this execution as Fallen is waiting outside. The rest of his team, however, is inside, so this is going to be an execute towards the upper bomb site. There's smoke for connector for Mini, and there it is. Taco coming in. Freiburg's the only one here. He does get one kill. Actually, Exist is up top, but he falls as well. Some damage done onto Fur. Is the retake going to be patient, or is it going to become streaming in? And they are going to let the bomb get planted. So Forrest with that kit, they have faith they can retake this bomb site.
Got to wait a couple seconds, though, of course, for the smokes to fade away here. Same thing for Makalele up in heaven, but now as Taco creeps out there, Makalele has spotted it, and he's going to get that kill against Taco. They've got their way back into the bomb site here, but oh, Makalele almost got off guard, and he has actually taken down by Fur, and Fallen as well, dipping in from the doorway. Takes out Get Right. Forrest alone in the 1v3, and they're all shuffling around. Forrest doesn't know which way to look to himself as he moves in, but there is a headshot for him. He opens up the possibility at least, and he's got a kit in hand. Not Not checking the backside though, and not checking the shed either, but he's going to stick onto this one. They rat back out, and they will find him. Fur closes out, and SK will win the second pistol.
That's now both pistols in control of SK. Nice smoke execute. You could see there was one player in Mini that wanted to try and retake that bomb, so they wanted to get in on the action, but that smoke held him off. Michael almost makes the heroic play up top in heaven, but not able to do it. Good crossfire set up by SK to stop that retake from coming in. Just a standard execution. NiP can't handle it, so both pistol rounds go the way of SK. You would say that's firmly in control, but even without the T-side pistol, NiP still puts up 7, so a long way to go for SK right now.
We are going to see now Fortis trying to take the challenge of these players pushing for outside control. The scout in hand, the biggest gun to work with here in this round, but obviously needing to be very careful as that gun could very easily be lost too from the current position he's playing. And Get Right, he'll be here to support, and he moves up just at the moment that we see SK starting to throw in their smoke so that they can take control. Get Right with a big task ahead of him. He can hear the players creeping in, the flashbang too, but Fur actually doesn't fully check it. The trigger discipline, nobody sees Get Right now. He has a huge opportunity, even spotting Taco. He's going to find that kill, but all of a sudden he's in the open and they're falling back, but there's an AK in his hand. Gets the second one shut down by Cold, so it puts an end to it, but the damage is done and it goes into a 4v3 along with getting the huge read in terms of where SK are going to be taking this bomb towards.
Yeah, and now NiP can rotate in position to stop this. Exist and Mike Laley setting up a crossfire, bait and switch, but nice job from SK to hold that angle. Fur working with Fallen. I mean, Fallen's holding the left angle while Fur's peeking down towards the stairs. That's beautiful teamwork, and that brings Exist down to 5. Here come the Molotovs. They want to push forward. Michael Laley just has to back away. Get Right with the initial damage. That's huge, giving NiP a chance in this round, and there's Freiberg to combine onto it. Exists now. He's going to see if he can catch out Fallen. He might just do it. Fallen's looking the wrong way. Damage is done. Fallen down to 33, but they do get the kill. It's a 2-on-3 scenario. Forget the fact that Get Right had a slow first half. That is a massive double kill for him to get to start this out, giving NiP a lifeline in the second round.
Makalele even in new Toxic too, so if they go forward with making this into a B hit here, they're going to be able to, or Makalele I should say, is going to be able to have a huge element of surprise when they move in, and also they've got enough time for the NiP players to jump down into the vents. There's more damage being done. Freiberg just absolutely destroys him with that AK, and NiP steal the second round.
Yeah, and he gets those 3 kills, but it is the play from Get Right, the trigger discipline. Who better, the consummate lurker, just backstabbing all these Brazilian fans who want to see SK move forward. So a nice rebuttal from NiP in the second round. 8-9 now, and SK, I mean, they take a pause. I believe this is going to be a tactical pause, and they'll have to talk to. They want to try and buy right back into this. They have Fur at 3,400. So what we've seen some teams do, I've seen SK do it as well, is Fur can drop an AK-47. They can have one, and the rest of them be on Tech 9 armor and then some utility as well. So there can still be a dangerous buy to a certain degree from the SK side if they choose to be risky with the economy.
So now just waiting for things to get unpaused here. Like you mentioned, the money's still a little bit low for NiP, so there is a chance to break him there. But if they take that risk, that also allows for NiP to take full control. And we'll get the replay on screen now. This big play from Get Right that sets up the resulting victory here for NiP. Second kill is even bigger there too, and they spot, of course, the big secret play and are able to get themselves in position to counter out the rest of the movements from SK. Really great stuff from Get Right there, and as you were mentioning, a bit of a slow first half, but that immediately makes up for it in the second round of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, a player like Get Right, you're not going to keep him down the whole time. I mean, he's just so experienced, so I mean, even having a bad first half, it's not going to bother him whatsoever. He's going to get right back into it. And even, I mean, this is the thing about pro players as well. If you're having a bad game, that happens. You just have to find ways to have impact. If you're not getting the kills, if you're not feeling comfortable, and for whatever reason things aren't going your way, as long as you can get a couple impact kills, you don't need to rack up a high volume, and that's exactly what Get Right's done here. So there is a buy for SK. It's the Tech 9s, it's the upgraded pistols, and not an AK-47. I thought Fur might drop an AK over and just get utility for the team, but he goes for the Galil. So it's not the best weapon to just have one player try and pick things off with that Galil. It's not the most reliable. But SK here might just line up for an execution. They have 3 players inside. They have FNX and Taco now outside. So where are they going to take this one? It actually is a pretty passive defense outside. It's just Get Right. This is an old school style of holding outside. Just spotting for info, seeing what comes his way.
Well, now waiting to see what SK are going to do and when they're going to actually move themselves in. They throw all their smokes and whatnot over there outside, but there's no push that actually follows it up there. The rest of them are just going to fall back, fallen, and they end up missing the bomb throw there, so has to waste a couple more seconds, but shouldn't be too big of a deal as now they move in to execute here onto the inside bomb site. But NiP are still sitting here. They still have multiple players waiting for it, and Forrest in position to shut down any push that works its way in from the shed. He knows something is brewing here, but it's going to come down mainly to Exist, stopping the doorway push, grabs that first kill. Get Right has to move in, and oh no! There's chaos amongst the side here, but it seems to be evenly traded for now. They try to go down the vents, but Freiburg's going to be able to counter that out. And with Makalele moving into the flank, NiP are going to be able to shut this one down and tie the game up.
It looks sketchy. Exist misses that first shot, and Get Right actually runs right into his crosshair, so they line up for Fur, but the pistols can do nothing. You can see how fast NiP, and this is the thing, when you have those UMPs, when you have the SMGs, it's all about swarming. And they hit the point of the attack so hard from so many different angles, and SK gets stopped. So 9-9, it's all tied up now. Finally, the Ninjas have a chance at taking the lead for the first time in this match. And it's going to be against unarmored opponents, sub-upgraded pistols, but no utility. This should be a feast for NiP. Molotov's being used. There's Freiburg with good damage. Get Right chiming in, watching outside. And Exist going to take some liberties with a gap in this default setup from SK. See what he can find at the UMP. He senses FNX with the peek and he shuts him down. That's nicely done from Exist. Great game sense, and goes for the pistol as well. No one falls for NiP, and SK uses another pause. I think that's their, is that their fourth?
I think it's their third. For America, we only used one in the first half, so this should have one more up their sleeve, if I remember correctly. But of course, we'll get correction if that's wrong.
We need to get like a post-it note with like a crayon and just keep track of all the timeouts. It's the next evolution.
It's a new graphic that we need to add to the kit for tournaments.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Either way, this is, I mean, now SK, this is such a critical buy round, and this is why they're taking that pause. It's going to be the first real rifle round they have. They're going to be light on utility with a couple players as well. They are going to have armor and AK-47s. They should be good for the most part. I think everyone can have at least a smoke, but I mean, Taco, he can't have a flashbang next to it, neither can Fallen. But with the 2 flashes on Fur, 2 flashes on FNX, they should be all right to make something work.
Well, we will get into it now. And now that NiP has the lead, the pressure shifts even more onto the hands of SK in front of this home crowd here, wanting to make sure that there is going to be a Brazilian team still in the finals here. And the last one's left is Mortals, unfortunately for the fans, ended up going out in the group stage, and there's going to be Taco, aligning himself the first kill there, pushing back through old radio, finds Forest, picks up the first kill, and with that, they finally have themselves an advantage to work with. Capitalizing on it, of course, is going to be the problem area, especially on a map like Nuke.
Taco well aware of the possibility of that aggression, and NiP tries to pull a fast one on SK, but it doesn't work. Meanwhile, FNX battling through the smoke, and just as it dissipates, Exist can't get that kill. So FNX is going to give his team a 2-man advantage, still trying to take this lower bomb site. Still a chance here for NiP to be able to turtle and come back into this round. It's Get Right playing behind the Molotov to slow down this hit. He's going to have to fall back, give up a little bit of ground. Freiburg in the upper bomb site. And Makalele, he is up top. So the upper bomb site is at least held. They're going to try and get aggressive. They're trying to just, I mean, not commit to any kind of aggression, but they want to just peek. They want to get some information, see if they can find a pick. That'd be great. That's obviously the key. There's Get Right with a kill. Freiburg doesn't have one yet. He falls as Cole takes him out. But a chance here with Get Right and a double kill.
And now the guys from SK are going to be moving over to take control of the ramp room and finally move into the bomb site. Coldzera sneaking in too, but there's suspicion on his part. He's even going to move back up to see if he can still find any players. And oh, he's slowly just dodging these guys now. Get Right shifted into the vents, but I don't think he's aware there's a player. However, Makalele also finding some flanking work getting done here. He's going to be able to find Taco and take him down, so it's even again into a 2 versus 2, and there's only 16 seconds left here for the guys on SK to find a plant. Coldzera's gotten himself into the A bomb site. That's their best and possibly only option now as the time gets low, but no one can seem to find the other one. Get Right wins the bit of a freaky battle there in the bomb site to take down Coldzera, and there's nothing for FNX to do. He's got to fall away and save.
Get Right is a monster. He gets the double kill, and then he just outplays Cold. Some timing in his favor, but what positioning from him. He reads the play perfectly. Such a smart player, and you see it there, the cerebral aspect of his gameplay where he just knows what's happening. He knows it's going to be coming to this upper bomb site, and the movement to go through hut and flank around Cold. That's perfect. That's brilliant. And NiP, big lead now. SK loses that crucial round, and you can see a little bit of desperation now. FNX with an AK, but here's the upgraded pistols behind it. It's not a full investment outside of FNX, but they feel like they need some rounds. They need to start bringing an arsenal into this match, and they are not winning them. And there's Freiburg, a big opening kill. NiP has taken the momentum away from SK.
FNX bought down significantly lower than the rest of his teammates too. For the most of them, they were still sitting somewhere between like 1,500 and 2K, but he was down to like, I think, $300. So a much heavier investment for him, and that's certainly going to hurt a little bit there as they have to buy into their next investment here. NiP though with the lead, and of course Taco moving back to pick up that gun. We'll see if any work can be done with it still. They have gotten control of the staging area, and there we go. There's that AK finding some frags. It moves up, takes down Makalele, but get right position perfectly here inside of the garage. Knocks out Fur. Elsewhere we saw Forrest knocking out Fallen, so these guys are slowly getting knocked out. The only good thing they have going for him right now is Taco with control of the ramp room, but coldzera outside needs to find a way to group up and actually transition this somehow into the B site where the AK is currently working its way towards.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left. I mean, Taco has great positioning in the lower bomb sites. You can see Cold with the bomb is just kind of waiting for him to make the play. With the AK-47, with the sneaky positioning, unfortunately, he doesn't have the bomb, so he can't get it planted. The question is, how are they going to work together to get coldzera down there? And I believe Forrest might have spotted him out, but oh, Taco could have a massive backstab here. Freiberg, he comes around, he spots it. The timing, it's so fortunate for Freiberg, and he just confidently takes that fight, swings out and wins it. 2 kills in the round for him. And Cold's going to have an AK. He's got light armor in the bomb, and Freiberg spots him out as well. Oh, he's stumping SK right now. Cold does get the kill, but Get Right's there for the trade. It's a 12th. NiP with a commanding lead.
They managed to bring it back. They survived the T side after it was looking dire at the beginning, and now they're starting to secure their lead here in the second half that they have that CT side advantage. SK buying up once more, but as mentioned previously, because of the more expensive buy that we saw happen in the last round there, FNX not even going to be able to get an AK for himself this time. He's got to go over to a Galil. So downgrades for him and the rest of SK now. As they move into this next round, of course. Early control being taken of the T lobby way, but the response grenades are already in from NiP, so he won't be allowed to do anything in these early seconds here. In the event, they wanted to play aggressively, but with the default setup, I don't think that was in the cards anyway.
You can see a different style of defense here from NiP. While Fallen had the AWP outside for the most part and used it in ramp room as well, NiP is employing 5 rifles. This is allowing him to be very mobile. It's allowing him to get aggressive when they need to be. And they're not even, I mean, they're content to give up outside control. We often say that on this map, and it's almost like the T's have a big advantage out there, and NiP just doesn't seem to want to mess with it. Get Right just playing in mini, where, I mean, this is, like I said before, this is an old school style of holding outside, where we saw it in the old versions of Nuke a lot, especially from Get Right. But they're willing to just kind of give it up. They haven't really fought for it, and SK hasn't been able to find any way to take advantage of that.
So NiP now still slowly sending their players, or having their players across the map here. SK are going to send. Looks like 3 of their players are going to work towards the ramp here, and Makalele has moved himself downstairs here almost preemptively because of that hit. So good movement from him. He gets himself out of dodge of a situation where he almost would have died and now falls away. But the problem is he's got a player back in the vents there that's sort of out to dry at this point. Makalele sitting back, however, gets the headshot angle and a second one following it up. Fur and Taco both are going to get knocked out of the equation here. And Makalele, as he moves in there, Forrest on the flank shuts down another one, and the SK players get absolutely nowhere off of this round. FNX with the saved gun that came in from the previous round, they're dropping it and now down to the Galil, and the rest of these players, coldzera, there's nothing left for him to do. He's just stuck here in ramp room, hoping he can capitalize on one of these players, and coldzera is going to find himself at a similar fate to just the same one that one of his teammates had dealt with just a few rounds ago.
Freiberg plays the unintentional bait. I mean, he gets spotted in vents, and I don't think he meant to, of course, even with the punish after the time. Cold has no money. That's brutal. It's a gut punch right there from Forrest. Well done from him, but Freiberg doesn't even realize he's exposed, and actually, I mean, SK spots him out, they do some damage, and they start pushing forward because they don't expect there to be too many players downstairs, but Makalele, with perfect off angle, able to get 2 kills and then a third later on. Hit SK 9-13. This crowd wants anything to cheer for, but it's been all NiP in this second half. Pistol round won by SK, and they haven't gotten a single round after that. Get Right's. Oh! What is that reaction? Get Right. Get out, Fur, and now Fallen. He's on top of the roof, but what a shot, and Get Right's gonna go for more. Misses that one, but he's still just toying with SK at this point.
Now he's gonna look for more, but Forrest is out here helping out with the aggression too. That's gonna take down Taco. Forrest is still sitting back here waiting for Fallen or more of these players to wrap back around, but Get Right, he's in the warehouse here, and he's going to be able to pick up another one. That's Fallen getting knocked out of the equation. FNX and coldzera, the last 2 up and rolling here. FNX at the very least picks up 1 kill, but you cannot shut down Get Right. He's up to 3 kills for himself, and all that's left up and running is coldzera here, already down to 11 HP. Freiberg is going to get himself the last kill. NiP in control now as they find their 14th round.
I want to see that shot in slow motion so badly. Oh, this was disgusting. And he just spots the pixel out of the corner of his eye, the corner of his screen. And what a snap. Why not? Get Right being impressive here in this second half. He's caught He's caught up very much so on the scoreboard now. It started out slow, as we mentioned a couple times, a rough first half, but it's Fraga now with the best of them, 16, and Get Right, it looks like they want to challenge him again. I don't know why you would after that shot. Get Right, for the moment, is at least just going to fall away. So SK, 3 members outside, Taco, Cold, and Fall, and actually there's 4 there. Going to line up some smokes. They've only got a couple, though. They're only using 2 right now. They've got and actually there's the 3rd that comes out. So trying to do some misinformation, but Get Right has a perfect angle. He gives it up at the wrong moment, so he doesn't actually spot SK starting to stream out.
Get Right will actually get dinked here early on, down to 30 HP as he tries to take some shots. They're looking for one that he picked up previously, but instead he's the one that gets knocked down, and he's been surrounded too. He's going to have to try and pick up some kills as he's pushed, but it's not going to happen. Fallen nets the kill in coldzera, jumping in through the hell window. Oh, Forrest able to readjust there and hold himself in that duel, but just barely survives that, and as he falls away, Fallen grabs the kill, takes him out. Makalele still up and rolling though, is able to take down Fallen, but there's another trade that rolls in from FNX. It goes into a 3v2. With SK having good control across the map here. Bomb's not in the site just yet, but it will be in a second.
Yeah, but this round is so disorganized for both teams, actually. I mean, that's actually working in the benefit of SK game with all these Tech 9s. So many players have pushed up into awkward angles, and NiP can't read the situation because this isn't a set strat. This is just go where you can find a kill. First got one. Can he get the second? He does. Exists falling in the air, and SK back on the board, 10-14. They get just their 2nd round in this half. It has been 7 straight for NiP, but the streak has stopped. And if SK can't string these together, if they can't build upon this, it's over.
Just as all hope seemed lost, they do find a streak of it here. But NiP, the huge streak of rounds that they run themselves on without a single plant from SK in that time too, I should mention. They still have plenty of cash to work with here. Buying up into this next round, SK going in just as strong though, and they're going to go for fast outside control. All of their players moving in for it here, and the op is going to contest it over here from the NiP side. Forrest waiting for them to creep out into the opening. Get Right taking a much more aggressive angle here too. There's Fallen though, finding the first kill. It knocks out Forrest, but Get Right around the corner stops any additional outside pressure moving in for now. He's going to hug the box, but as he moves out into the open, oh no, the spray's not even close to where it needs to be. coldzera takes him out of the equation here, and with that, we'll see the guys from SK taking almost full control here. They're still trying to hold tidbits of it on the wraparound, but SK basically a free reign if they want to fall back and go down ramp room. There was no one from NiP that will contest that currently.
NiP having a tough time outside at the moment. I like the switch up for Forrest into an AWP, try and catch SK off guard because it's been all Get Right with rifles there. But he peeks and loses that. Makalele, the smokes come out and he switches over to the M4. He wants a little bit more of options in his and how he can play this situation. There is a crack in the smoke. He stops Taco. He continues to spray. He can't get that kill, but it is down to a 3-on-3. And actually, SK is going to make their way down. Freiburg's already here. They have him boxed in, but is SK going to be ready for this? How many can Freiburg get? Off angle for him. The first jump, that's a kill. That's big. Exist can drop down into vents, but he's got to find the timing because FNX is waiting for it.
Now as SK moving to take control here. 30 seconds on the clock to get the bomb on the ground. But the problem is they're making sure they clear this out before they even go for that plant. So NiP are already on the edges of the retakes now. And as they move in, they've got another player back over there on the ramp called coldzera trying to take this duel, but no, Exist. He'll win it out, and FNX in the smoke here. They need to guarantee themselves a little bit of extra money here as they're going to be reset if they don't pick this one up. They find it, and FNX actually escapes. He gets himself in the decon. So he's going to be able to wrap himself outside of the doorway here, and he slowly, as quietly as he can, will wrap in to try and find Exist. But Exist has already detected this. He's going to be waiting for it, and he shuts it down. So NiP, they're going up to match point.
Another good round from NiP. I mean, recovering nicely from a little bit of that. Same thing as last round. They lose some players outside. It's on the verge of getting just so disorganized that NiP can't figure out where they're going. But nice stabilization. Big play from Makalele. Even things out in the smoke outside and then fall away and survive. That was huge. And also just buying times, getting the information of where to rotate to. Even Freiburg just getting one kill. And since Makalele survives, SK knows they can't fall back. They know they're cut off and they would just lose that fight. So they have to push forward, and that allows NiP to rotate in the proper positions. 15-10. This has been a fantastic match for NiP. Coming back from 7-0. It's been a 15-3 run for NiP. And SK haven't been able to stop it. They haven't been able to adjust in the same way that NiP did in the first half.
And NiP themselves now still just playing that same setup they have been. Get Right actually falling back a little bit more here now. They played it aggressively in the last round, and it was somewhat hit or miss, but it did allow them to take control of the round in the later portions of it here. Get Right was playing into the A side initially. He has fallen away from that and is wrapping back over to Secret to counter out some of this constant outside pressure that's been broiling in from SK, and no one suspects him currently. If he pushes up, he's going to find Fallen for free. Flashbang, though, pushes him away from it, and Fallen is getting a little bit suspicious himself, so he'll start to check towards that angle as SK do again get control of the initial area leading up to Secret.
Get Right, about to be tested here from Fur. Dodgy weapon switches, Get Right. Don't get caught with your knife out. He's so lucky Fur hasn't pushed forward, but he gets the kill anyways, and Freiburg finds one as well. And it's looking like it's going to be all over. Exist with a nice shot on the Fallen outside. It's a pair of Tech 9s left, although Force is down. There's nowhere to go, and I think actually Exist just hears those footsteps. So Taco and Cole, they're going to try and make something happen. It looks like Taco's going to go outside, try and wrap up, and they'll try and sandwich up this ladder. That might be the only option they have. Exist hears this jump up.
So cautious right now, and yeah, he's gonna hear Taco. Just no luck at all for the SK roster in this one, and he gets the first one. What a snap! Shuts down coldzera, and I think he just spotted Taco too. He's certainly gonna hear him, and there you have it. NiP will take control of the first map here in this semifinal. 16-10 is going to be the final score, and they are primed to move on into the Season 4 finals if they can take control of SK's map pick.
Yeah, that's so nice for NiP. A big win, a big comeback, 16-3 run after SK goes up 7-0, and it was the tactical adjustments. It was a way to figure out how to break that economy and then go back to what their original game plan was. And to be honest as well, I mean, we were hearing that 7-0 run. We could hear the crowd even though we're not out there. You can hear it through the walls of the arena, and it is so silent. NiP really quieted them down.
All right, guys. Well, it looks like we have the analyst desk waiting for us to break down this game a little bit more. So let's send it over to them.
Thank you very much, Blue and Moses there. The desk is joining me to try and understand exactly what we did just witness over on Nuke. A slight, quiet murmur and applause as NiP do succeed in taking their map pick that was Nuke. Now, gentlemen, of course, YNK, Peacemaker, and Sponge to talk through this one. That seemed a little bit. What's the best way to describe this? I'm gonna set the scene by saying this seemed exactly as you expected. This was everything that you've described in the pre-match unfolded before us, Yanko.
Absolutely, Alex. SK getting off to a strong CT start. I think there's no doubt that NiP is a better Nuke team in general than SK. It's just that SK, when they are on fire on the CT side, they can make any map their map, and it really looked like that was going to happen in this game as well. 7-0 start. Very strong. I think the round that turned the game or started turning the game for NiP was after FNX loses that 1v1, where honestly he tried to be a bit too smart. Only 5 seconds left. He was counting on Forest to fake the plant. And after that, he tilt buys. He just buys an M4 in the following round where his teammates have around 2,500 to 3,000. So they all have to force into UMPs. NiP with a great call to rush the upper bomb site, knowing that if SK is to force, it's going to be low utility, probably no Molotovs. They win that round, force SK to eco after that, and that's where NiP really got their foot into the first half, a strong economy as well.
And after a very poor first half for Get Right, a spectacular second, so much impact made by none other than Chris.
Yeah, he's so menacing on the CT sides. We saw it yesterday on Dust 2 as well. He just appears when they're least expecting it, and he picks up multi-frags. He continuously moves around. He makes it hard for them to find him. And when you're doing that on the CT side of Nuke, there's so many little hidey holes, and you can find that kill, and you can move and reposition. And SK are the team that want to take heads-up fights. That wasn't the thing that NiP let them do just
Oh, God,
then.
here it comes.
This is a huge shot.
Oh, this is filthy.
Oh, that's really easy, right? We do all do that all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one there, Yanko. Another thing that I thought was very interesting was the diversity that NiP were using on their T side, because they were grinding in the beginning. They were losing, they were getting shut down, but it was still relatively close rounds. So they just had to keep coming up with new ideas, keep trying new tactics, and eventually they broke through. And when they did, it became close clutch rounds where they came out on top. And one of the things I noted from SK was there was utility left in their clutch rounds. They weren't using it. There was a round where Taco, he wasn't a 1v2, so he was at the disadvantage, but he had a smoke and a flash. He could have smoked the bomb. If you're not going to sit the defuse, he could have, he had time to play around the smoke. He could have forced the T to come into his line of sight. Instead, he just went to sit it with utility left, and just a few little mistakes, maybe a bit of nerves.
Bit of nerves, but I think for SK. I mean, Peacemaker, if we are observing SK, was there a great deal of fault as they proceeded to concede? They went 7-0 up and then ended at 8-7 half. I mean, what on earth was going on there? Was that NiP just starting to get the read, as Yanko has said, or was there some fault?
Yeah, I think they started having the read, and there was a timeout from NiP. And NiP is a team that whenever they time out, they seem to be talking about what's going on, and they always adapt pretty good. And in that way, for example, NiP started playing very default, trying to take outside control, and SK was super ready for it. And things started getting out of control when NiP started having different approach. For example, doing a splits B and getting Taco caught off guard, and they did a fast A execution as well. And I think that unfortunately SK wasn't very prepared for it. And as Janko and Shad mentioned, this game had two very important clutch situations where they broke SK's economy. And if FNX won that 1v1 situation and in the other round Taco won the other 1v1 situation, that could be a totally different match. So yeah, very unfortunate.
A perfect way to summarize just how close this semi-final will be. World-class Counter-Strike going down here in Sao Paulo. We're going to be talking about our second map, Overpass, after a short break. Of course, it was SK's choice, and they want to try and take us into a third. My voice is going, but you know where else you can go? It's over to the Score Esports application. Grab it on your smartphone to keep track of not only what's going on here, but also elsewhere in the world of esports. I think World is going on right now. Check it on your smartphone so you can keep watching this stream. That's what the Score Esports enables you to do. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Overpass is going to be our second map. We'll see if SK can take us into a third.